Welcome back to Battle Cage. My name is Saif and I'm coming to you with another great video. I'm riding high from the last week's, UFC London. I did very good. Net profit 16.8 units. Most of it, definitely came from the live play, not premeditated, plays like most of you are used to, but I'm a new kind of generation player. I like to live in the moment. So, without further ado, we are looking at UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Steve Erceg, and I think this should be a really interesting bout. There are some new prospects to watch for, and there are some interesting fights. So without further ado, without wasting any time, let's get straight into the opening bout of UFC Fight Night live from Mexico. Let's get it. All right, we have MEDEROS taking on Austin Hubbard. I don't have the UFC fight summary over here, so I will have to navigate from ESPN. MEDEROS coming off a win from his last fight with Landon Quinones. That was a unanimous decision win. Current record 9-1. Taking on Austin Hubbard, 17-8 record. Austin Hubbard, overall, I think he's a good fighter. He has the skills. He has good wrestling. He has pretty good MMA IQ. He tries hard. I just don't know if he is a UFC caliber type of fighter. I don't even know if MEDEROS is a UFC caliber fighter. He is opening up at -192, and he has been, pretty much consistent from the opening line with Austin Hubbard. If we look at the, topology, the records, as you can see, what is this? In the last 5 fights, he's perfect. Coming off a KO win 2 years ago, a unanimous decision, a KO contract, performance against Isakov, and a unanimous decision against Landon Quinones, like I said. On the other side, Austin Hubbard is coming off a split decision loss to Alexander Hernandez. And I got to be honest with you, I just rewatched the fight. It was a relatively good fight. It could have gone, any other way. I just don't know if there's any sense for Austin Hubbard to be winning at UFC. It is an opening bout. It's pretty low caliber. You got a 2-1, relatively new rookie taking on a pretty much seasoned MMA veteran, Austin Todd Hubbard. Can Austin Todd Hubbard come out and dog the shit out of MEDEROS? There is a life, there is a world for that. You have an overwhelming topology community, 82% picking MEDEROS. I'm not opposed to that pick. I'm inclined to pick MEDEROS, to be honest. I just reserve my right not to because it's the very first fight. There's so many fights to go through. Enjoy your day. You don't need to bet on every fight, especially the very first one. Let's move forward. All right, moving forward, we got Jamal Emmers taking on Gabriel Miranda. Opening line for Jamal Emmers was -218. He is now ballooned up to -325. That's something to take notice here. 20-8 record for Jamal Emmers. 17-7 for Gabriel Miranda. Gabriel Miranda, he tries. That's all I'm gonna say. He tries. Jamal Emmers is the more technical, higher level fighter, if you ask me personally. He is riding a 3-inch reach advantage, and he's overwhelmingly out voluming Gabriel Miranda with 5.3 significant strikings landed per minute versus 2.82. So that's something to consider. The takedown threat from Gabriel Miranda is there. As you can see, he averages about 3.8 takedowns to 1.8. But again, Jamal Emmers is no slouch in the grappling department. If we look at the grappling department, he has 90% takedown defense. So you could say that's going to nullify, that threat of almost 4 takedowns per fight. Will he take Jamal Emmers down? Possibly. Can he get out-starched right out by Jamal Emmers? Probably. Look at Dennis Bazooka getting completely flatlined by Jamal Emmers not too long ago. He is coming off a loss himself to Nate Landwehr. That was a pretty good war. He got the uppercut right hook combination to hammer fist. Nate Landwehr is a dog, so he thrives in those types of situations. Gabriel Miranda is also coming off a brutal knockout by Morgan Charrier. That was about 5 months ago. So relatively, you know, new breakage in the jaw department versus Jamal Emmers, who had some time to heal. The overwhelming, again, majority of the topology is on Jamal Emmers. I'm inclined to pick Jamal Emmers just because I think overall, stylistically, he is the better fighter. He has the physical attributes, the size, the reach advantage, the volume. You know, not a slouch in the grappling department. So I am inclined to pick Jamal Emmers here. Significant strikes, as you can see. You know, the absorption. They're both hittable kind of guys. You know, 4 absorbed strikes per minute versus 5. So that's something to consider. But if you're trading back and forth and you got 48 significant strikes coming in on Jamal Emmers, I'm inclined to pick Jamal Emmers, even if it's gonna go, you know, down the stretch and Miranda can push the pace and, you know, impose the grappling on Jamal Emmers. I'm not sure if he's gonna do much with it. So again, opening outs minus 218. As you can see, Jamal Emmers has ballooned to minus 325. He's probably a parlay piece. We don't have much of the lines of the props. It's only Tuesday at the time that I'm recording this, so time will tell. But I am leading Jamal Emmers, and yeah, let's get this back. Let's lock this in. Actually, by the way, I am using Topology to track my winning streak. I am currently 64% to year. I dropped a lot. I was 69% going into the London fight, and the London, judging really kind of took a toll on me. So I am going to go ahead and lock in Emmers as my pick. He's probably going to be a one pick and done. I'm not going to overexpose myself. He's going to be in one parlay, and that's pretty much it. That's where I see Jamal Emmers, because I'm not playing him in any other way. The over-under is a possibility. I reckon it's going to be 2.5, but time will tell. Let's move forward. All right, up next, we got Rafa Garcia taking on Vince PICHEL. Man, Vince PICHEL is a G. 42 years of age, you know what I'm saying? He's still fighting his ass off. So hats off to the veteran. Rafa Garcia is 30. He's hitting his prime. So that's something to consider. A pretty good record, 16-4 versus 14-4. They're both coming off a loss in their last outings here. Look at the tail of the tape. 92% on Rafa Garcia. Whenever you got an aging veteran, people are going to write that veteran off. Although we just seen Jan Blachowicz, right, put in a really good performance against Carlos Ulberg, a very relatively young competitor. So cannot always write out the vets, but the vets don't seem to be getting the nod on the decisions. So Rafa Garcia is coming off a loss, a TKO loss to Grant Dawson, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Grant Dawson is a very high technical lightweight prospect. I still think highly of him. And Ismail Bonfim put a beating on Vince PICHEL and basically edged out that decision. But again, he's hanging with these young studs, right? He's always in this fight. He is a tough son of a gun. Let's look more from the fight summary here. The volume is really close, 3.97, 3.62. Vince PICHEL is a banger. The takedown is going to be favoring Rafa Garcia, and that's where I see this fight kind of going. If they're both going to be standing and exchanging, there's going to be a moment where Rafa Garcia is going to have to level change because Vince PICHEL is not a slouch. He is going to stand with you. He's going to bang with you. He's going to put a beating on you. So there's probably going to be a moment of, an epiphany moment for Rafa Garcia to level change and probably, impose the grappling possession, the grappling pedigree, which he's not, too terrible. He has 44 takedown accuracy versus Vince PICHEL 54. His takedown defense is good, 75%. So if Vince PICHEL is the first one to level change after getting, after absorbing some, heavy punches from Rafa Garcia, who stands very close in the pocket and comes forward with the pressure, Rafa Garcia can, defend that. It's going to be on the other side. Can Vince PICHEL, defend the takedowns that's going to be coming down from Rafa Garcia? And that's something that leaning towards, you know, Rafa Garcia here. So obviously you already know where I'm going here, not because he's an overwhelming, you know, huge favorite. Let me look at the lines. The man is below. He stayed kind of consistent here. Minus let me fix that for you. Yeah, he stayed at minus 485. Favorite position, you know, that's really, really high. That is almost 5-1 favorite position. So I am going to be leaning forward Rafa Garcia just because, you know what I'm saying? Can never pick a vet like that in a very dangerous situation, because Rafa Garcia, you know, Mexican fighting in Mexico, you got the whole crowd going crazy. Even if it does go to decision, I do think it's going to go to the gift of Rafa Garcia, who's a very good and talented fighter overall. So I do see him as a pick as well, you know, combining and Jamal EMMERS. Matter of fact, I'm going to start a parlay building just for funsies. So let's say we had Jamal EMMERS and we take Rafa Garcia. Those two together are currently minus 175. So that's fine. Let's see if we can find another heavy favorite parlay, a heavy chalk parlay, you know what I'm saying? And after that, we'll find something else to play. So that's where I'm leaning. I'm leaning Jamal EMMERS and Rafa Garcia so far, a two-legger. I do want to add another one to squeeze the lemon. So let's see if we find it. But I am going to pick Rafa Garcia to get the job done over the Vince from Hell PICHEL. What a nickname to the OG. And I reckon we see him retire this weekend. You know, he is coming 2 losses back-to-back. His first loss in the series against Mark Madsen, and the second one is Ishmael Bonfim. I do reckon he gets another loss and probably hangs it up in Mexico. So let's move forward. All right, up next, we got Lupi Godínez taking on Julia Polastri here. Number 11 ranked strawweight Lupi Godínez looking for a bounce back from a loss that she just suffered. She has a 12-5 record versus 13-4 Julia Polastri. Let's look at the fight. Tail of the tape. 31 years of age for Lupi Godínez, 27 for Julia Polastri. The striking differential is favoring Julia Polastri at 5.57, and she comes in heavy with those blitz. With the blitz, when she comes in forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't be surprised. Those blitz are coming in fast, and they're coming in heavy. The significant striking accuracy is going to favor Julia Polastri. She is, you know, she's putting a beating on these girls. Her takedown accuracy is 80%. But she doesn't shoot too much. Versus Godínez, she shoots about 3 takedowns per fight, and she averages about a 1 submission. Let's look at the overall grappling department for both ladies. The takedown accuracy, like I just mentioned, 80% for Julia Polastri. The takedown defense, though, for Lupi Godínez, I do not see, again, this is pre-fight speculation. I do not see Julia Polastri taking Lupi Godínez down. I actually see the reverse. At the time of taping this, you know, this particular fight, I was leaning on the dog, Julia Polastri. I was, until I started checking out the lines. Lupi Godínez opening up minus 175. She is now minus 238. So the money has been coming forward in the inverse relationship. Julia Polastri opening up plus 145 dog. She is now plus 195 dog. So this is crazy. So what I'm gonna say this, and in fact, at the time of taping, I just watched YouTube. I do follow a channel. It's called We Want Picks. I think those guys are amazing. Shout out to them. They do tremendous work in terms of giving you guys the analysis. I'm not like that type of guy. I am more straight to the business. I want to make money. I'm a money guy. I want to make money, and I want to make money fast, right? So he is going for his, I believe, 7 underdog pick straight. So Julia Polastri is the underdog lock of the week for Jacob over on We Want Picks. And that means a lot of money is going to be, a lot of, like, you know, I want to call it stupid money, right? Blind money. Blind money is going to be coming in on Julia Polastri. And I think the smart money right now is coming in on Lupi Godínez, who are going against the grain. They're going against the bounce back. They're saying, you know what, Lupi Godínez, this is her job. Her job is on the line. She's coming off 2 losses back to back. She lost to Verna Genderoba, high level grappler, right? She lost to Mackenzie Dern, high level grappler, and a fighter that's developing her striking. And now she has this relatively new girl who's no slouch though, right? Julia Palestri is no slouch. She's a tough girl. Where I do see the break point is going to be in Lupi Godínez starting this fight very heavy. 84 public perception on Lupi Godínez. They're going to be buying Lupi Godínez, and you know, she let us down time and time again. Lupi, that is. So you know, I was going into this video trying to pick a dog, Julia Palestri, but now that I see the line movement and that I see, you know, a very popular YouTuber picking Julia Palestri as another viable dog, I'm scared. I'm scared in this spot for this dog. If we're gonna play this dog, it has to be live play. When, you know, when you're seeing the two people fighting, if Julia is starting at plus 185, the first opening good sequence, if you like the body language, you hammer it. If you see Lupi starting strong, as I think she will, and she has to impose a heavy grappling approach here, otherwise there's no way she's gonna stand with Julia Palestri. There's absolutely no way she can stand with Julia Palestri, because even though her volume is not bad, Julia could be out volume Lupi Godínez. So it's one of those fights where it could be considered of changing of the guards, 27 years old to 31 years old. But I want to caution people that Lupi Godínez, as stupid as she is, this is a very important fight. Her job is potentially on the line. She cannot afford to lose. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Moicano. She cannot afford to lose 3 in a row. It's going to be a bad look and possibly a cut here, because, you know, Julia Palestri is on a surge. She's on a mission. She's fighting for something. She has something to go for. She's 4 out of 5 in her last 5 outings. You know, impressing Dana White at the Contender White Series. So the pick is gonna be live play. I wanted to select Julia Palestri, but after learning that she is a possible underdog, and I'm always paranoid when Jacob picks the same underdog as me, because she was my dog of the week, right? So I'm really scared. It's a good dog. She's a good dog. That's all I'm gonna say. She's a viable dog. She can bark. But as you can see, the line movement is very scary. That's very scary. Maybe the bookies are playing, you know, reverse psychology with us, but that takes a lot of money to move that line from minus 175 to minus 238. So let's get it. Let's move forward. All right, moving down the line, we got Christian Rodriguez, C-Rod taking on Mexil Costa. This is a good fight. This is a good scrap. You know, Mexil Costa is coming off a really good win over Andre Fili. Christian Rodriguez coming off a good win against Austin Bashi. Another prospect dead, because that's what he does. He destroys all these prospects. He takes their undefeated streak, 27 years of age, 28. They're in their prime of their lives. The physical advantage is going to be going to Mexil Costa. He's 5'10" to 5'7" Christian Rodriguez. The reach advantage pretty much is the same. The striking differential is the same. This is a very good fight. The takedown average favoring Mexil Costa ever so slightly, but don't buy into that, because in the grappling department, takedown defense 69% for C-Rod. So if you're thinking that Mexil is going to go in here and just, you know, bully Christian Rodriguez, I don't think so. If anyone is going to be implementing a heavy grappling approach, it's probably going to be Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez does struggle against, you know, longer, taller fighters. This is a good scrap. It's very close on the line. Where is Christian Rodriguez? Christian Rodriguez is currently sitting at minus 155. So he's been there. You know what I'm saying? And I reckon this line should stay relatively at bay. It should not have a lot of tons of movement, because, you know, it's a volatile fight. It's a volatile fight. Any of these guys can win. That's to me, it's a more of a 50-50 fight. Obviously, you know, it looks like the bookies are respecting Christian Rodriguez just a little bit more, and I'm not hating that. I'm not hating that, and it's too close for me to call. Another fight where I cannot confidently sit here and pick a side. It doesn't happen. One thing this fight might go. This fight is going to decision, if anything. They're both tough, durable guys. Submission threat is live for Mexico Costa, right? C-Rod has been submitted recently to Julian Rosa, so that's live. And Mexico Costa got knocked out by Steve Garcia, where as powerful and clean striking of Christian Rodriguez, I just don't see him as a knockout artist. So is that there? It's a fist fight that can happen. Personally speaking, I don't think that's gonna happen, but it is a good fight. The more seasoning is on Mexico. You know, that is what's driving me toward him just a little bit more. This is another live dog opportunity if you guys are chasing a dog, and my dogs are always live. I gotta watch my dogs perform. I would rather take an underdog at, let's say, plus 200, right, and have him go down to plus 115 and smack that, versus take him at plus 200 and have him lose the fight. It doesn't make sense for me to me. So live play opportunity is definitely where I'm leading here. Too close for me to call. I'm sorry. I wish I could confidently sit here and give you guys a pick, but it would be a lie, and I don't want to lie. So let's move forward. All right, continuing. We got a debuting monster. Ateba Gautier versus Jose Daniel Medina from Bolivia. Man, what can I tell you? This guy is an absolute unit. Look how this picture is exactly how he looks, and he's only 22 years of age. I need to see a birth certificate because he looks like he's 30. In terms of the line, he has always been sitting at this. Although there's a bounce back. So let me fix this for you. Hold on a second. There's always been a little bit of bounce back. So opening up at minus 550, he's now minus 425 because people are absolutely tired of betting this new debuting fighters that are coming off Contender Series at minus 500s, and they keep dropping the ball. And the biggest threat for this African Savage, Ateba, is probably going to be some wrestling, because in the stand-up, you cannot stand with this guy. He throws heavy monster punches like crazy, right? And he has a 90% takedown defense according to the stats, but he was really controlled by that Asian fighter on the Contender Series, and Jose Daniel Medina could surprise us. He is a big dog, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are going to be looking for that fade, right? Dana White contender fade situation happening here. I do think Ateba is going to get it done, though. And not only is he going to get it done, I'm going to take him to win by KO. You know, he went against Magomed Gadjilsluvov Medina in a unanimous decision loss. So that's good. That's a good look. And he went with Zachary Reese, who's not bad in a unanimous decision loss. So he is hanging in there. He's hanging in there. Before that, he won a split decision. So he's hanging in there with these guys, you know. He's not terrible. He's not terrible. And he's very confident. That's one thing I gotta tell you. Jose Medina is very, very freaking confident. But this young guy, man, this African Savage from Cameroon, the silent assassin Ateba, man, 22 years of age, he is hungry. And that reach advantage is stupid for him. The power is stupid. I do see him winning by knockout, personally speaking. So I have already, as you can see, picked Ateba. And remember that chalky parlay that we got going. So we got a 3-picker here. We got Jamal Emmers. We got Rafa Garcia. And we got now Ateba. You put those 3 together, you are looking at a beautiful 3-leg parlay, minus 106. So if you're looking for a small little parlay to get the job started, you got Jamal Emmers, leg number 1, Rafa Garcia, leg number 2, and Ateba Gautier, This will not be more than a 2-unit parlay, so do not overexpose yourself just because of this Ateba who could drop the ball, just because Gabriel Miranda can, surprise us. I don't think Rafa Garcia is a bad pick, but you never know. Vince from Hell PICHEL could come out and absolutely violate Rafa Garcia. So that is where I'm kind of leaning here with this prediction. I am going to go with the African Savage here. Look at this guy, man. It's crazy. All right, let's continue. All right, finishing off the prelims, we got Edgar Chairez taking on CJ Vergara. This is another close fight, in my opinion. So, 29 years of age for Edgar, 33 for CJ Vergara. 3-inch reach advantage for Edgar. Man, this is I think the lines is crazy, by the way. Minus 270 for Edgar. Let's look at the line movement. There is a little bit of line movement. Minus 258 opening line for Edgar Chairez. Now at minus 270 for Edgar Chairez. So there is line movement. I think if it stays relatively close in a hand-to-head combat, yeah, I think Edgar is gonna get the job done. Although the volume is favoring, CJ Vergara, he's a busy bee in the octagon. He's a busy bee. He's gonna be there, fighting the whole time. The grappling department. What is the grappling? 60% takedown defense. Although, yeah, I don't see Edgar really shooting too much for takedowns. You know what I'm saying? It might just be a war. Might be a war. And Edgar should come out on top. Should is the word. I have enough confidence to pick him. I believe, yeah, I did pick him already. So, yeah, let's go. I mean, listen, this is as cholo as you're gonna get with Edgar. So, fighting in Mexico, he's gonna put it on for his people. I see him winning this fight, and I don't particularly see a finish, but a unanimous decision does not sound too bad for me. So let's go with Edgar Chairez. Most likely by decision. I'm going to take decision prop, actually, for this fight, because I do believe CJ Vergara is going to be fighting for his contract. He's going to be fighting for his life here. He's coming off 2 losses against Asu Alambayev and against my fellow countryman, Ramazan Timurov, a little ninja turtle, I call him, so who finished him in the first round. So, man, that's where we're at. 90% overwhelming majority on Topology is going to be picking Edgar Chairez, and rightfully so. Let's move forward. All right. Opening up the main card, we got Ronaldo Rodriguez taking on Kevin Borjas, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna warn everybody about this fight. I do not like what I'm seeing here, and I gotta go straight to that before I even dissect the fight. If you look at the line movement, this is Ronaldo. Let me click Ronaldo, right? So this is Ronaldo Rodriguez. And according to this website, right, bestfightodds.com, which is usually on the ball here, it's suggesting a line movement toward Ronaldo Rodriguez, right? Minus 180. Open up 155 to minus 180. And as soon as I was watching this fight, something is just not feeling... something is like not going good in my stomach, right? And I'm thinking, why? Well, I'm looking. This is book. This is the book. This is directly from DraftKings, live on DraftKings. I'm recording this on DraftKings, right? So the line for Edgar minus 270. All the lines are correct, right? But look at this. Look at this. This is Edgar. This is Ronaldo Rodriguez at minus 142. So there's a discrepancy here, and the reason there's a discrepancy here, I think it might be a trap, guys. Yes, Ronaldo Rodriguez, he was very entertaining against, what's his name? Ode Osborne, right? That was pretty cool. The press conference, A Star Was Born. That kind of, he stole the show for the UFC in the Sphere, right? That was very, very fun. He won the fight. It was back and forth, but he won the fight. I don't know. I'm not sold on Ronaldo Rodriguez, to be honest. I'll be very, very frank. And even though Kevin Borjas is coming off 2 losses back-to-back, right? Unanimous decision loss to Joshua Van and a KO loss to Alexandre Costa, who I'm really high on. I'm not sold on Lazy Boy. And I'm actually, even though you see a pick of Rodriguez initially, I'm going to flip the switch. I'm going to go with Kevin Borjas here just because I don't like what I'm seeing. The striking differential is going to be so evident. Kevin Borjas, 4.92. It's 5-2 basically, right? The takedown is favoring a little bit of Ronaldo, but if you think he's going to come here and bully Kevin Borjas, who has 61 defense under his belt, I don't think so. I do not think so. I think what's going to happen is Kevin Borjas is going to keep the fight standing. He's going to, although he's hittable, 6.7 to 3, so that's granted, he's going to be the one dictating the pace of this fight. This is where initially, when I saw this, there was a funny feeling in my stomach. I refused to understand why, but now I see why. There's something wrong with the lines. I don't know what's going on. This fight was not giving me happy vibes. I initially wanted to stay away from it altogether, but I'm going to pick a dog here. I'm going to pick a dog because these lines are not adding up. Minus 180 right now, right? Telling me right now on ESPN minus 180. And this is telling me minus 142 right now. This is on the book. And then I'll open up FanDuel just for fun. I got my phone in here. Let me open up FanDuel, and I will confirm where the line is. Because, like I said, something did not feel, right in my stomach. And there was a reason. There was a reason. So let me go to All Sports, MMA. Okay. On MMA, on FanDuel, he is minus 164. So he is minus 164. He's minus 142 on DraftKings. So I don't know. Maybe I'm buying into that too much. I don't know. I'm just not sold on Ronaldo. Like I said, I'm not sold on him. What is the community? 91% on him? Nah, there's no way. There's no way. Not from what I'm watching. No. I'm going to say there is value on the dog here. There is definitely value on the dog. I'm going to take Borjas. I'm going to go against the grain here. It might bite me in the ass, but I'm going to go with Borjas, and I think he's going to dictate the fight on the feet. He's going to dictate the fight on the feet, and he might squeeze out a very controversial split decision win. I'm calling it right now. Let's move forward. All right. The next one, I'm not going to waste too much time. We've got David Martinez versus Saimian Oliveira here. Another debuting guy. You know what I'm saying? Another debuting guy. So his full record is 11-1 versus 18-5 Saimian Oliveira. In terms of their outing, this is a debut for David Martinez. Saimian Oliveira is coming off a loss in his last outing. So we can actually pull that up right here. Let's see. He's coming off 2 losses back-to-back. Essentially fighting for his contract. Tony Gravely 3 years ago and 2 years ago against Daniel Marcos. He hasn't fought since. 2-year layoff. Damn, that's disgusting. So maybe they are pushing this David Martinez, the Black Spartan. Maybe they are. He's a heavy favorite. What is the line saying? Minus 360. I will confirm that. He is minus 360. Yes. So see this? They got a match. When these lines match, I'm happy. When there's a discrepancy, Spidey senses is going off. So minus 360, debuting fighter. Technically, he should get the job done. Technically, you know what I'm saying? That is technically. 11-1 record. Mexican, 26 years of age. Coming off a contender series against Xavier Franklin in a unanimous. I saw his highlights reel. He looks legit. His significant striking length per minute, 5.27 versus 2.82 versus Saimian Oliveira. Physically, he is actually bigger than Saimian Oliveira, 5'6" to 5'4". Although when you look at Saimian Oliveira from the pictures, you think he's like a 5'8", 5'9" kind of guy. So one thing is though, the 6-inch reach advantage for Saimian Oliveira. That's something to watch out for. David Martinez has little T-Rex syndrome, and I think I have the same size length of the arm, 66 inch. So I shouldn't call him T-Rex because I probably have the same problem. But yeah, I am gonna be picking this David Martinez, but heavy chalk, debuting fighter. You already know how I feel about this. 94% on David Martinez. He should get the job done. Just be careful, guys. Be careful. Let's move forward. All right. We got Chiwis. Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Vince Morales. Done deal. Rosas he's the pick. I'm not even gonna waste this time. Rosas is the pick, most likely by submission, if you ask me. Vince Morales, suspect, clean boxing, 34 years of age, 14 years difference separating the two men. Rosas coming in very, very young. He's now 20 years of age. He's growing. He's literally growing in front of our eyes. Like, I know we use this expression, all the time, growing in front of our eyes, but he's literally growing in front. Like, Rosas came in as a what? When did we see him? We got introduced to him when he was 16. Then he was fighting at 17, now 18, 19, and now he just turned 20 years of age. So he's literally growing in front of our eyes, like, as literally can be. But yeah, I used to be a Rosas hater. I am now a supporter. He, lost against C-Rod because C-Rod is a prospect killer. It is what it is. From then, Terrence Mitchell, KO, Ricky Torcios, submission, and Erori Kilang, decision. He's showing growth. He's showing toughness. He's a tough son of a gun. In terms of the, what he's gonna do. He's gonna come in and he's gonna look for. He's gonna shoot. He shoots 4 takedowns average per any 15-minute fight. Vince Morales, no. He has a decent takedown defense, but Rosas is non-stop with this. He's with them shits. He's the Mexican Habib. He's the Mexican little Habib. He's the Mexican Merab, actually. He's not Habib. Let me backtrack. He's definitely like Merab, who doesn't stop, and he's always pressuring. So we're gonna go with Rosas. Yeah, he's a good money line pick, actually. If you want to replace any of those parlay picks with Rosas, I highly, highly recommend you do that. Minus 425. And where was Rosas here? Rosas, yeah. They even have him projected even much higher. So, let me take a look right here. Oh, yeah, minus 425 Rosas. There you go, minus 429 Rosas, as you can see. So the line has been moving, minus 310 opening line. He's now minus 425, which is reflective of the book, as you can see. So he's definitely a pick here, guys. He's definitely a pick. I do not mind Rosas at minus 425. And if you wanted to, let's say you're iffy about Ateba, you want to take Ateba out, you could keep Rosas. Rafa is good to keep. And then Jamal EMMERS. Let's see if you guys want to substitute that. But 3-picker 106, as you can see, squeeze the lemon parlay. Let's see if we can find an alternative for for Jamal EMMERS. But Rafa and Rosas should get those. Those are heavy favorites that should get the job done. So yeah, let's go with Chiwiwis. And I want to say submission. Because I just don't think Vince Morales is game on the ground. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see him surviving 15 minutes of nonstop pressure from El Nino Problema, the problem child, Rosas Jr. Vamos, let's go. All right. We got Kelvin Gastelum taking Joe Body Bags PYFER. And there has been tremendous line movement, and we got to talk about it. Joe PYFER opening up at minus 550, which is absolutely absurd if you ask me. And he's now been diluted to 305. That is a massive line movement if you ask me. Kelvin Gastelum opening up a 4-1 underdog. Wow, 400. That's crazy. That is insane. He's now plus 245. So we've seen Joe PYFER exposed before. We have seen him break down. When Joe PYFER is not getting his way, he is going to be running into trouble. He was coming in off an impressive win. Alan Amedovsky, KO, right? Gerald Mearshart, KO. Abdul Razak Al Qasim, submission. So that name Body Bags was speaking volumes. And these are really like, you know, that's a lot of like activity, right? But then he fought Jack Hermanson, and that's where he went into some trouble, where he should have won, in my opinion. But Jack Hermanson showed that veteran, you know, quality of Jack Hermanson. He basically got exposed over there. He did have a nice bounce back against Marc-Andre Barriot, and now fighting Kelvin Gastelum, who is very, very seasoned, right? And although his record is atrocious, 19-9, he had one of the most spectacular fights with Israel Adesanya, when Israel Adesanya was making waves. Well, I believe it was 2018 or 2019. It may have been 2019, April 2019. I was actually in Orlando watching it in one of the nice bars that they have over there. So Kelvin Gastelum is a dog. He's up and down. You know, he tried his luck at the welterweight division, where I think he should have always stayed, but he likes to eat, man. So he lost to Robert Whittaker in the middleweight, lost to Jared Cannonier. He dropped down to he fought Chris Curtis. That was a nice upset against Chris Curtis. Lost against Sean Brady. He tried his luck at the welterweight. Yeah, that didn't go so well. And now when fought Daniel Rodriguez at welterweight, had a win over there. So yeah, he's like up and down, but moving up back to 185 for Kelvin Gastelum. He's very undersized here, 5'9" to 6'2", 71.5 reach to 75. Guys, I'm gonna be very frank with you. From what I've seen, Joe Pyfer should get the job done. Just being very, very honest with you guys, he should get the job done. If Joe Pyfer is just going to allow Kelvin Gastelum to lead the dance and trade blow for blow, there's a world where Kelvin Gastelum does sneak a decision win. I don't necessarily think he finishes Joe Pyfer, because I think Joe Pyfer is very, very tough and durable. You know, I hope I don't eat these words come Sunday reaction time. But I'm still going to take Joe Pyfer. I'm actually happy he's now more affordable than he was. He is currently, Joe Pyfer is currently, where the hell is he? He is minus 300. I am going to be tailing this line. I'm going to be watching the line movement. The better this line gets, the better for me. Because actually, if you want to replace Jamal Emmers with another heavy chalk guy, Joe Pyfer might not be the bad pick here. Again, I hope I don't eat these words come Sunday. But Rafa, Raul Rosas, and Joe Pyfer. You see how systematically we started building, and we kind of like coming in for a full picture. The more I talk, like that's how my brain works. But this line movement is crazy. And I want to know the people who are moving these lines, because I want to know what they know. I think what's really driving this line is the public perception that, listen, we've seen Joe Pyfer crumble when he faces a top level competition. And you could argue that Kelvin Gastelum is top level competition. He's only 33 years of age, so he's not like over the hump. He's not 35. He's not 36, right? But Kelvin Gastelum gets absolutely nothing from this win. His stock doesn't go any higher. It doesn't do anything because, you know, Joe Pyfer is a kind of like a prospect on the rise. So it's not like he's going to get a title shot or something like that. No, there's absolutely no world of that. But Joe Pyfer has everything to lose if he loses this fight, because his stock is going to plummet even more now. So it's a close fight based on stats. Maybe that's what's really driving, because if you look for striking differential, very close. 3.72, 3.74. A significant accuracy. This is insane. This is literally mirror images of each other, right? So maybe, just maybe, this is what's driving that line movement here. But I'm still going to go with Joe Pyfer. He's the younger guy. He's the bigger guy. And he should should get the job done. I'm going to go with Joe PYFER body bags. And yeah, let's move forward. All right. Moving down along, we are now in the co-main event. We got Manuel Torres taking on Drew Dober. Drew Dober, man. You know, if you know, you know. Manuel Torres, man, this is a redemption fight for him. He's coming off a nasty loss to Ignacio Baja Mendes, who's on the rise himself, right? Drew Dober is... I keep saying Drew Dober because that's how Islam Makhachev calls him. Drew Dober. He's coming off a nasty TKO loss against Jean Silva, where his eyelid has just one of the nastiest gashes in MMA history. Like you could put your finger inside, right? Anyway, you got a young stud, Manuel Torres, 5'10" to 5'8", so that's already a problem for Drew Dober, because he's gonna be fighting from downside. He's gonna be looking to reach for Manuel Torres. He's giving up 3 inches to Manuel Torres. The striking volume differential is crazy, and the reason this is important is because the more punches Manuel Torres lands, all that cartilage, all that broken tissue, all that soft tissue on Drew Dober face is he's gonna start bleeding. And if this goes to the judges, I'm telling you right now, Manuel Torres is gonna get a unanimous decision win if he doesn't finish Drew Dober, who I think he probably can finish him, and he should finish him. Manuel Torres, 15-3 record. I do want to open up the profile. He has seven wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission. So he is a finisher. So it's not like he's a slouch in that department. You know what I'm saying? I am fairly confident that Manuel Torres should win. I am fairly confident here. Minus 118 is a bargain. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Drew Dober is... He's that mother effer. He's tough as shit. He has one of the most chiseled jawlines in the UFC. I mean, let me just look at that jawline. I mean, he should be a model. You know what I'm saying? No glazing. But yeah, Manuel Toro, El Toco, coming in for redemption from Mexico, in Mexico. Give me Manuel Torres. And Manuel Torres is also... so if you don't like Joe body bags, take him out. And now you can put Manuel Torres in. And now, guys, you got something cooking here. You got Rafa Garcia fighting a veteran, right? 42 years old. So he should win. You got the prospect Rosas Jr., okay, who should win because the line of resistance from Vince Morales is very low. And now this is where really the true gamble comes in. Manuel Torres at minus almost even line, minus 118 against Drew Dober. And well, Drew Dober is tough as nails. I think he's over the hump. You put those 3 legs together and we have finally cooked. We have finally cooked something that I will be personally playing. And if I'm playing this sounds like a 1.75 unit play. Minimum 1.75 unit play, 4 plus 175 for 481 payout. You're making $300 profit. That is wonderful news. This sounds like a good play, and if I do miss this, I can live with myself. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that I'm really considering. This is probably going to be my play. Matter of fact, I am playing this. I am playing 1.75 units at a 3-leg picker for this parlay. We got Rafa Garcia, we have Raul Rosas Jr., and we have Manuel Torres. That's a beautiful parlay. Comment down below if you think I'm crazy or you like this parlay, and if you're going to be tailing this parlay with me. So comment down below. Yeah, we're going to go with El Loco, Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober, who is at the near of his fighting career, 36 years of age, coming lost to Renato Moicano, which was a war, by the way, which he could have won. And then John Silva, my goodness. battered him. So, and this is a very tough opponent for Drew Dober because Manuel Torres is, again, 30 years of age, prime. Yes, he's coming off a knockout, but that's because he got overzealous. He overextended himself twice, actually, and Ignacio just clicked him. And remember, Ignacio is just as tall as Manuel Torres, so he found the chin much easier than maybe Drew Dober. Drew Dober is going to have to, like, you know, like whip his punches into Manuel Torres, and that you could telegraph versus a very straight, narrow punch that Ignacio Barramendez caught Torres a couple of times. So very close line, very close picking. Torres is edging a little slight decision here. I mean, favoritism from the topology community, but I'm gonna go with Manuel Torres. I'm gonna put him in a parlay, and yeah, let's move forward. All right, we did it, guys. We are now in the main event of the evening. We got Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg, and man, I gotta tell you, this is a fun fight. It's a fun fight. Brandon Moreno coming off his last win against Amir Albazi, he looked phenomenal. And as you can see, I already picked Brandon Moreno. He was coming off 2 losses, split decision to Pantoja, which could have went either way, right? Split decision loss to Brandon Royval, although I do agree with this split decision. I had Royval winning as well, and he came out with such a dominant performance. If the same Moreno comes out the way he came out 4 months ago and beat the shit out of Amir Albazi, Steve Erceg doesn't have a chance, because now Steve Erceg is fighting for his life. And if Tijuana born, the assassin baby Moreno was, let's say, 34, 35, there could have been an argument for Steve Erceg. But he's only 31. He's still good. He's still relevant. He has clean boxing. He has that notorious Mexican chin. Steve Erceg, if he doesn't submit Brandon Moreno, because I don't think he's knocking him out per se, although it's a fist fight, anything can happen. And Steve Erceg does get busy, by the way. He gets busy. Well, let me see how many knockouts he has under his belt. Steve Erceg has only 2 knockouts. Yeah, but he does have 6 submissions. So if he doesn't submit Brandon Moreno somehow, you know, in a stand-up war, 3.99 versus 4.37 significant striking landed, 2-inch reach advantage for Moreno. Takedown. This is where it's gonna. I think it has to play in there. There's gonna be some high-level grappling in there, some reversals. You know what I'm saying? That's some clinch work. It has to be there because it's a 25-minute fight, guys. It's a good scrap. I'm all for it. In the grappling department, takedown defense, about 60% each, guys. The accuracy is favoring Brandon Moreno, and he's a scrambler. That's one thing I like about Brandon Moreno. The pick is Brandon Moreno. It's a good fight. It's a good scrap. But just from their last outing, you know, Steve Erceg got completely starched by Kai France, and Kai France is not doing that to Brandon Moreno. He tried. He didn't get that done. So again, MMA math doesn't always add up, but I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno here. I'm relatively confident with this pick. So if you did want to push this parlay even further and consider taking the action on the main event, who's Brandon Moreno's minus 238. What's the line movement for Brandon Moreno? Brandon Moreno opened up at minus 192. He's now minus 238. So you could consider that as well in the parlay, just for funsies. And if you do take Brandon Moreno, which, you know, I'm inclined to do so, right? If I'm already playing 1.75 units, might as well. We got Rafa Garcia, we got Raul Rosas Jr., we got Manuel Torres to finish the night with a main event, Brandon Moreno, 4-leg parlay, plus 290. That's wonderful news. You're going to walk away with $500 of, that's crazy, 5-unit play right here. This is a 5-unit, I'm sorry, not 5-unit play, a 5-unit edge. You're risking 1.75 units for a 5-unit gain. That would be spectacular. A parlay that I love, a parlay that I'm going to play right now. So you know what? I actually thought about it. I would be absolutely disappointed if the first leg Rafa Garcia shits the bed. and he doesn't really add much value, let's stick with a 3-picker. Let's go with Rosas. Let's go with Manuel Torres. Let's go with Brandon Moreno to close the night at plus 224. 1.75 units. I like that. I like that. I like that. That way, the night starts well. The parlay is still there. We get to enjoy the main card. So we will have a main card action parlay. Rosas, Torres, and Brandon Moreno. And that I can get behind of. So let's go ahead and lock that in. All right. That parlay is now officially locked in. Loaded. Let's get it. Boom. And I'm pretty okay with it. Like I said, I'm carrying over 16.8 units from last card. So 1.75 unit for a nice investment on a 4-unit gainer. I'll take it. So the pick is going to be Brandon Moreno, the assassin baby. He should get the job done. Possibly a decision. You know, I do see Steve Erceg fighting for his life at this point. Like I said, his contract is on the line, you know, technically speaking. This Astro Boy kid, although they're going to keep him anyway. He's young. Even if he loses, they're going to give him another shot. He'll be what? 12-4, which is okay, right? Yeah. So those are my picks. I'm an hour deep in, but I wanted to give you guys everything. You know what I'm saying? So like and subscribe. Oh, shit. Like and subscribe. You already know what to do. Comment down below. Let me know if you like what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. My picks is good. My picks is not good. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Your boy is out.